All right, so here it is. Here's the way we want to try to have it looking and closely as possible. All this cast iron stuff, 50 something years old, and everything had to be fit with lead and that oakum. Every one of these joints is you know, the lead oakum. So that's kind of how they had to do it back then, I guess. So we're working with PVC in the basement, and here's where I made that cut. So you can see here, that was the Y that I cut, and cut this with a, I'll show you the saw a little bit later, but here was the hole. So originally the hole was like right up to, was like right here. It was always down here, which is very hard. I was able to patch it for about a year, I guess, and it started leaking again. And once I started messing with it, it ended up looking like this. So I'm going to attempt to do this. I am a homeowner, not a professional plumber, certified or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is go try to get all the parts. Taking a picture of something like this is really critical, because I'll need to refer to this when I get to the big box hardware store, and try to get all the parts that I can. I want it to be as close as possible. Probably won't be exact. And this right here, if you're wondering, this is where you put the washing machine water outlet, so it drains in here, and that's what that's for. And then this was connected right up there where that PVC, the drain pipe that goes to the sink of the house, goes way down about 20 something foot. I actually replaced that myself, the PVC that was going to that sink. So we're going to tap onto that. So yeah, and there's another patch right there that I did. Okay, so yeah, let's head out and try to get some parts. To cut through that 3-inch pipe and 2-inch pipe, I used a reciprocating saw, corded reciprocating saw. Most importantly, you have to have the right blades, and let me show you the blades that I used for that. Yeah, I'm up against this wall here. Still got about, I don't know, probably 3/4 of an inch, so it's not a real critical place to cut. But I went ahead and got the 6-inch. I did not want to get, they have a 9 and probably a 12 Diablo, and this is for thick metal, and the first metal that it mentions on here is cast iron. So I was able to make this cut, brand new blade in my reciprocating saw, right at about 1 minute to make that cut. So yeah, it's not that difficult really. But I wanted to use a 6-inch because using a 9-inch may get off course, so I wanted to use, this is 3-inch pipe, so yeah, use that 6 and got a pretty straight cut, so pretty squared straight cut. So yeah, it worked out really well. So putting this PVC-Y in place, I'm going to need a little bit of PVC to go in there, and yeah, we want to get as close as possible. So it's actually should be like about right there. Okay. I don't know how long that cast iron Y tail was actually. I've never seen one, but yeah, we want to try to reduce it as much as possible to kind of, you know, recreate what we had as much as possible. So to do that, like I said, I'm going to have to put a little piece in here to connect. And just measure in here, because you know that connection piece will stop right here, and you know, just use tape measure in there, and then on the other end here, this black band stops right there, and so I think that's like right at 1 inch. So here's the piece that I actually cut, and let me show you quickly before I cement it what it would look like. Alright, so yeah, here it is now. It's probably 1 inch. I could have even gone smaller if I wanted to. I'm pretty satisfied with that. You can see the Y is leading up here to connect there. You know, it's going, now we're going to be going vertically up there, and then we're going to use a elbow and another little piece like this right here to connect to that band there. So here's a straight piece that I cut that's going up here. To measure that, what I did was just kind of lay out the Y in place, and then you know, we got to compensate right here so the straight piece will go in there. I measured right at 1 3/4 inch, I believe, additional, and so once I push that down, which I'll need to do to line this up over here, go to the elbow. We do the same thing. We've got to compensate for inside of the fitting, elbow fitting, and then just kind of line it up there. So it'll take a little bit of measuring to do. Make sure you buy additional pipe. I just went ahead and bought the pre-cut. I think it was 2-foot sections, or you can buy I think a 10-foot section. So I think when I get done, I'm going to have plenty left over. I think I bought like 2 sections of the 2-foot or 4-foot, 2-foot, I believe. What I'm going to do now is measure the piece that's going to go in here and here. Again, we're going to compensate for the distance in here. It's going to fit and seat in, and over here I want it to kind of touch the pipe we've already got in the clamp. One thing nice about this clamp is it's a rubber flex clamp, so we've got a little bit of grace movement there with that. Alright, we're at 2 inches. Alright, so here's the inside. You can see the other PVC pipe. We want that to butt up if we can possibly do that. I could push this in until it butts up, and then wherever it marks at, or I'll mark it at that point, probably be able to see a visible line. Alright, so here I am trying to fit that piece that goes to the elbow and to that rubber clamp up there. So the rubber clamp is 4 inches wide. We have 2 inches that we need this to go into to meet up with the existing pipe. So we're going to go, there's 2 inches right there. Now we had 2 inches of a gap, a space we need to fill, measured earlier. So that'll bring us to 4. And then we need to go inside the elbow and seat inside the elbow another, what, 1.5 inches, maybe 1 3/4. So that's 4, 5. We'll go like right here, and we'll cut that off and see what we've got. So when you're a rookie or you don't do this very much, you want to have additional pipe on hand. To make the cuts, I've been using the chop saw just because I happen to have this available. If not, there's other ways to cut the PVC. You can use a hacksaw, you can use a reciprocating saw. Another great way to use it is using a pipe cutter. This is a really nice pipe cutter, but unfortunately it I couldn't get it to cut 3-inch. Yeah, I couldn't get it to cut 3-inch. I think it says 1 to 3, but I couldn't get it to cut 3. So anyway, yeah, I'm using this, just like I said, just because I happen to have this, fortunately. So it's really been easy making the cuts with this chop saw. And use that chop saw. Sometimes they're going to have a little extra piece sticking up here, so we got the file on hand for that. And we also kind of remove all this on the edge, like that. All right, I think we're going to be okay. All right, let's hold it down here at the bottom. That's kind of where it should be in place. On the bottom part, and then up here. Yeah, I think it'll be just fine. All right. Then on the outside of the pipe, I'm using the purple primer. I guess that's what it's called, cleaner primer. Yeah, just cleaning it good, okay. All right, the cement right here goes on next. It's nice to have a little brush. All right, that should be good. All right, so we're going to do a little twist on this. I'm going to hold it for 20 seconds or so. That's all there is to that. It should hold forever. Try to do your best with sizing everything, because once this stuff is cemented, I don't know what you would do, probably redo it, cut it. There may be some kind of cement remover, I don't know. All right, so I think we got a good seal. Ooh, almost fell. All right. Okay, once it hardens, I'm just going to pull this over. Yeah, I'll just pull it over, then we will be able to tighten down the bolts over here. I don't know if you can see that, but we still haven't tightened this clamp down where we started at. We'll go ahead and finish up right here with the P-trap, and then it goes up here for the vent, and where you can put the also where you put the drain hose from the washing machine. All right, moving on. We've got a reducer from a 3-inch to a 2-inch. I'm going to cement that in place, and we're going to put a little section in between this little sweep here, 2-inch. Cement that in. Then we have the P-trap. Now I'm not using a clean out. Probably should have a clean out right here, but the old one did, but we never used it. I don't want to go back to the hardware store. I've taken like 3 trips already. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave this alone like we've got it here. And I think we'll be okay. All right, just checking the measurement. Okay, we're about 2 inches wider. And that's because we had to use spacers here. There's a spacer. All right, so we got everything put back together. And I wanted to mention that I decided to go with this rubber clamp. It's a little wider than the other one. This is a Fernco. The other one is a Fernco too. Yeah, this one was just, you know, you're only allowed like 1 inch here on each side, and I could never get it lined up. Could never get the union lined up with the PVC and the cast iron, and yeah, it just wasn't working very well. And I was getting off course with this. It was ending up like that. So yeah, went ahead. Now I had bought this anyway, but yeah, this worked out fine. But yeah, I bought a lot of stuff that I didn't even use. So just make sure if you do something like that, and you go ahead and buy the, if you can afford it, buy the, at the time, buy the that's not water, that's just cement. Yeah, go ahead and buy and then return stuff to save your receipts. But yeah, that worked much better, and I didn't have to make any adjustments to this. I did have just perfect amount of room. Otherwise, I would have had to do some modifications, and that would not have been very pleasant. I would probably had to, because that one's really tight up there. So anyway, we're going to do a test. I think I'll do a laundry test. I want to also make sure that we get the P-trap going here and filling and working fine, because we don't want any smelly gas, septic stuff, smells. So we want to make sure this is going to stop that filling up like it should. So I'll get back with some results from that. Here's the repair. I have tested this at the sink, no leaking. Ran some tub of water. Bathtub is up there, drains down here. We've tested the bathtub, it drains very well, no problem, no leaking. So I'm going to be testing the overflow of this. On the washing machine in just a little bit. We've got some clothes we're gonna do here. So what I wanted to say was, yeah, you really, if you don't really know what to do as far as plumbing goes, you definitely need to advise a professional or certified plumber if you have any doubts at all. Reason being is all this stuff in the house, all this plumbing has been sectioned and designed, you know, by engineers and pipe fitters just for this house. So you don't want to vary too much from what you have if you're going to be replacing anything. If you have any smells afterwards, you know, you definitely need to consult a plumber. Like if you have any foul smells. For example, when I finished with this, turned it on at the sink, and you could hear it, you know, it had smells as I was working on it, you know, because we had the pipes off. So we had the gas, you know, septic gas leaking out, and, you know, it stunk mainly in the basement, not necessarily throughout the whole house. Upstairs couldn't really tell it, but I'm sure if it would have stayed that way for, you know, several days, it would have probably started smelling all over the house. So, so anyway, yeah, when I got it put back together, I wanted to make sure this P-trap was not going to overflow. So when we turned it on, that's really the first thing I looked at. I could hear it filling up here, and you know, sure enough, after we turned the water off, it just settled down in here, no spillage or anything. So yeah, that worked out fine. Now this is a little bit longer because, you know, we've got new parts we put on and they're not exactly the same as the old ones we took off. So we're like a couple of inches wider. So that's why I wanted to make sure that everything was, you know, is going to work okay. So we're going to do a test here, and I guess that will be it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Good luck if you do this as a homeowner. Again, you know, make sure that you do your due diligence before making any repairs to plumbing. Thanks for watching, and let's go ahead and I'll sign off. I'm pretty sure, well, I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I'm pretty optimistic. So anyway, thanks again, and let's go ahead and get this thing started. Okay, we're testing the tube, testing the drain hose on the washing machine for the first time. Hopefully we're not going to have any overflowing. So far so good. Probably gonna have to balance this more after moving it around. Check it out. Going through spin cycle. Yeah, it might jerk that hose out. So I'll have to balance this machine, or either make sure I get the clothes balanced in there real good. Just have a light load today. I wanted to test it out. We should be drained. So looking good.